Okay, over the course of the last 3 days, I've heard a ton of people prognosticate, pontificate to me about what's been going on in the NFL with Malcolm Jenkins, Eric Reed, Anquan Boldin, the NFL Players Coalition, and them making a deal with the owners about, or whatever, the league office about $89 million being diversified to social justice, causes and all this other bullshit. But people are coming out and talking about Malcolm Jenkins and Anquan Boldin's are sellout and coons and house Negroes. This is the problem that I have, predominantly with the black community. This is one of the problems that I have. Because somebody has a difference of opinion, you now all of a sudden call them a coon and they're selling out their entire race. These are things that I don't really understand. Did he handle the situation wrong? Yes, because he went behind the back of the coalition of the players. He spoke with them and made unilateral sort of decisions rather than, taking the insight of the individuals who actually started the entire protest. I do understand it was handled wrong, but for you to come out and then you call this man a coon, he's a sellout and all this other stuff to get paid. Last I checked, the $89 million is not going into his bank account. This isn't happening. It's going to the same causes that you claimed of the people who are being oppressed. So I'm not understanding this. And on top of that, Malcolm Jenkins went into this actually having an end game. Because at the end of the day, those dollars that you wanted to see go into those communities, go into those programs, they're now being brought there. Yes, is it being taken away from breast cancer? Yes. Is it being taken away from Salute to Service and My Cause, My Cleats and stuff like that? Yes, but at the end of the day, the money is being pumped into the places that you claim did not have those side of funding. So what is your end game to the individuals who have this large opposition against these men? Because I'm not understanding this. The problem that I have with it is that we can't call it down the line. Was it handled wrong? Like I said earlier, yes, he should have took into consideration the thoughts and the insight from those in the Players Coalition. He should have done that, because the way that it was articulated to me and the research that I've done, it seems he was on the phone with the owners in the league office, and then he was on the phone with the Players Coalition, and he was basically playing the game telephone. They told me this, I'm gonna tell you this. They told me this, I'm gonna tell you that, rather than have everybody on some sort of party line, or more importantly, have everybody meet in person. But he did handle the situation wrong. Could it have been handled a little bit differently? Yes, it could have been. Should they have ended their protest of them kneeling and sitting and all that other stuff? Personally, I believe they shouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, there was an end game that was presented, whether it's from the league office or whether it was presented from Malcolm Jenkins, to where you now have upwards of $100 million being diversified into these communities that you claim need this sort of funding. So I'm not understanding what the real outrage was, because if there was this large outrage about, oh well, we're not going to be able to protest anymore, what was your end game with your protest? That's all that I asked. This is the same thing that I touched on when we started in what was it, week 4, when everybody was taking the knee now and protesting the national anthem. What is your end game? It's okay to invoke your First Amendment right. I have no issues with that. I believe you should be able to stand or sit, but my problem is, what is your end game? Because it seems like everybody's just doing this because it's a trend. Oh, we're black, we're supposed to protest the national anthem because of the injustices going on in America. Well, what do you believe the solution is? Because a whole lot of these people just talk and there's no solution. All these people who are protesting, it's all for lip service to make other people feel good, but you really don't know why you're protesting. That's the only problem that I have with this. Why are we coming out and you're calling this man a sellout, a coon, and all this other stuff, when the only thing that he's done is get dollars into the programs that you wanted funding for anyway? So what is the end game? That's all that I ask. For the individuals who have an issue with what was going on with the way that it was handled, don't come to me and tell me, it was handled wrong, because we agree on that. We have a consensus on that. What I'm saying is, what do you believe the end game should have been? What do you believe should have happened? Do you want people inside of the league office to step down? To do what? What was the end game? That's all that I ask. Because Malcolm Jenkins, Anquan Boldin, they went in there with an end game. It seems like Eric Reed, Colin Kaepernick even didn't have an end game. A whole lot of other people, they came and said, well, we're going to continue to take a knee until Colin Kaepernick gets a job. So if Colin got employed, what changes from there? He's just another quarterback who's employed by the NFL. What changes from there? People, they continue to go with all these other social movements with no end game. People are doing a whole lot of talking. Nobody's really doing any sort of action, because what I saw being done with Malcolm Jenkins and Anquan Boldin, they were doing a whole lot of action. Other people, they're just over there taking a knee, they're sitting down, they're not doing anything. So what I'm asking is, what was the end game? That's all I ask. Please feel free to comment, like, dislike, I really don't care. I just want to have this dialogue with the people. What is the real end game here that would satisfy the collective of the people? Because it seems like a whole lot of these people just do a whole lot of talking. They don't feel like actually, you know, doing any sort of movements to make strides forward, to live better lives and live, you know, better as Americans. Because I'm not understanding this whole outrage, seriously. And it's really ticking me off, because you got a whole bunch of people who are quick to call people sellouts, coons, and all this other stuff for simply having a difference of opinion rather than trying to find a solution.